First Local News Weekly Report with Colette Linden.
Good evening, I'm Colette Linden, and here's a look at the news from this week. 2 group health center physicians are starting their own medical clinic with the hope of accommodating patients who are going to lose access to primary care by the end of this month. Great Lakes Clinic will be located on Second Line and will provide a wide variety of medical care, including walk-in services, family medicine, immunizations, childcare, chronic disease management, prescription renewals, and treatment of non-critical injuries. The Group Health Center officials announced a massive derostering in late January, stating this significant loss of health care access is due to the ongoing struggle of recruiting and retaining medical professionals in Northern Ontario. On Wednesday, May 22, 2024, shortly before 4 p.m., Sault Ste. Marie Fire Service crews responded to a call of a residential fire in the 100 block of Campbell Avenue. Upon arrival, there was visible smoke and fire from outside of the dwelling. Crews were able to contain the fire. Upon investigation, it was determined the fire was caused by improperly discarded smoking materials. Sault Ste. Marie Fire Services would like to remind all citizens to properly dispose of smoking materials in a metal container that is filled with sand or water, along with having a lid for even further protection. Smoking materials should never be thrown on the ground, discarded in flower planters, or garbage receptacles. PUC Services and Enbridge Gas attended the scene. As a result of the fire, there is significant fire and smoke damage to the dwelling. There were no injuries. The Special Investigations Unit are still investigating a fatal shooting last weekend. A Sault Ste. Marie Police Services officer discharged their firearm during a call for service in the 0 to 100 block of Second Line West. On May 11, 2024, at around 10:30 p.m., officers were flagged down by people who told officers a 37-year-old was harassing them. Officers began an interaction with the 37-year-old and were in the process of getting them to leave the area. The interaction then escalated and an officer discharged their firearm. The man died later at the Sault Area Hospital. The scene was taped off for about 2 days but has since been cleared. The SIU have not released any more details on this incident. Meanwhile, Sault Ste. Marie police are still trying to put together what led to a double shooting early Saturday morning on May the 11th. Police say around 12 a.m., 911 communicators received calls of possible gunfire at a residence in the 0 to 100 block of Wemyss Street. Upon arrival, officers with patrol services secured the scene and found 2 victims with injuries from gunshot wounds. First Local News has learned that a father and his son were shot at the residence. The 18-year-old son suffered life-threatening injuries. The father with serious injuries. Police still have not made an arrest in that shooting. A 90-minute discussion ended with a 7-3 vote in favor of a resolution that will see the city and the Sault YMCA enter into a 10-year lease agreement and the city contribute up to $505,000 toward capital repairs to the McNabb YMCA, a total to be matched by the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation. The city is taking on a manageable risk, says Mayor Matthew Shoemaker, one he says costs less than the alternative, which was allowing the YMCA to close. A charitable foundation is purchasing the YMCA, the building and property, a key in triggering the agreement. Under the lease agreement, the city will guarantee the Y's lease payments. The city will sublease the building to the YMCA. The plan also calls for the city to contribute the $505,000 for capital repairs. And the third main component will see the YMCA's tax exemption continue should the property become taxable under the ownership of the foundation. City staff's report says for the plan to be successful, it requires commitments from the stakeholders, business, and the public to generate 4,500 Y memberships. The Sault YMCA currently has about 3,000 members. In the 90s, membership was north of 7,000. Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan City Manager Brian Chapman announced that the city's 2024 Independence Day fireworks will be held over the St. Mary's River near the east end of the Sault Locks. The fireworks will be launched at dusk on Thursday, July the 4th. Last year, the fireworks were moved to Sanderson Field Airport after the Army Corps of Engineers said the equipment, materials, and fuel used for construction at the locks made that area a safety and liability issue. The 101st Rotary Community Day Parade is set to change course this year, running west on Bay Street on Saturday, July 20th. The decision to change routes was necessary due to the Queen Street reconstruction plan, which is scheduled to begin later this month and continue through the summer. Bay Street will remain closed from Lower Pym to Andrew Street to St. Mary's River Drive for the duration of the parade, with limited access to St. Mary's River Drive and Foster Drive. The parade will launch on Bay Street with a new theme this year, Welcome to the Zoo, with the menagerie of cats, cranes, and other construction equipment downtown. Fencing has now gone up on the former General Hospital site. Owner of the property, Italo Ferrari, on behalf of an Ontario numbered company, was forced to install fencing around the property by the city. It's been an ongoing battle between the city and potential developer for years. The General Hospital site has been trashed by vandals despite security being hired by Ferrari. The city asked Ferrari to install security fencing around the property over 1 year ago. The numbered company says it plans on building a long-term bed facility along with riverfront apartments or condos. However, no plans for the development has yet been submitted to the city. The chiefs of Garden River and Batchewana First Nation are asking the city of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, to help support their members this summer as the largest First Nation settlement money is received and distributed. Chief Karen Bell and Mark McCoy told City Council they expect the settlement money to flow to its members this summer and that money will stimulate the local economy. Garden River and Batchewana First Nations are offering financial literacy sessions for its members, both in person and virtual for those who live elsewhere, as well as education in will and estate planning, cyber crimes, and mental health and addictions. The $10 billion Robinson-Huron Treaty Settlement was reached after an extensive court battle. And Heidi Ivany is up next with a guest to talk a little bit more about invasive species and what we're in for this summer.
Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Darissa Vincentini of the Invasive Species Center. Darissa, you are the Community Science Coordinator.
Yes.
Well done. Wow, that's a pretty lofty role, pretty heavy-duty title. So excited to have you here. Now, of course, I'm going to assume we're going to talk about a species of something that is invasive, and certainly there's been a lot of coverage in the news recently about everything from insects to specific types of plants. So today you want to bring us information on the Himalayan balsam.
Yes, absolutely. So the Himalayan balsam is an invasive herbaceous annual plant.
Okay.
And it's native to the Himalayas, if you might have guessed from the name. And it is located here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay.
And it was brought into or introduced into Canada and North America because of its absolutely gorgeous flowers.
Okay.
So as a garden ornamental. And I don't blame anyone for that because they are really beautiful.
Okay, yes. And we do have some pictures behind us. Now, okay, so brought in as an ornamental. Now, I did do some moderate research, and what I have learned is that they are very, very densely rooted, and that they are very prolific. So, you know, whether that's by virtue of cross-pollination or however they're spreading, but they do spread.
They spread very rapidly, and like most invasive species, that's one of the characteristics of being an invasive species, is the ability to reproduce very quickly. But the Himalayan balsam plant actually can produce about 600 seeds per plant, and they're very viable. And they're also part of the impatient family. So it's a touch-me-not species. So as those seeds ripen, if you were to touch them, they explode. Yes.
Okay.
And what happens is that those seeds then explode from animals rubbing up against them, humans touching them, even severe wind can explode the seed capsules. And then those get dispersed on the ground, and you get really, really dense stands that are crowding out and competing with native species.
Okay.
Those seeds can also land into waterways because they typically do invade along river and stream banks.
Okay.
And once they're in the stream, they can then flow downstream and spread downstream as well.
And propagate another 600 seeds per plant. So, okay, so we have an idea then of how quickly and how efficiently, if you wish, they do spread. And I'm actually thinking, you know, because when I was little, I used to like to touch those kinds of plants that explode. It was very exciting.
Oh, absolutely.
And that isn't as random a thought as you might imagine. Are there any kind of health concerns that this particular plant poses? Like, some of them can cause blindness.
Yes, absolutely. There are plants to be cautious of. You know, the giant hogweed is one of them. We do have a native cousin to giant hogweed, which is cow parsnip.
Okay.
But no, Himalayan balsam does not have any negative human health impacts. Nothing like that. But if you are looking to kind of pop some seeds, there is a native jewelweed species, which is also an impatient and a touch-me-not.
Okay.
So if you're looking, especially with kids, to go and do that, I suggest finding one of those plants, and then you can still have some fun and spread native seeds.
Okay. I mean, I too could be categorized as a touch-me-not, but I am less likely to explode. So yes. Okay. Now, I know as well, you know, because we've been chatting, that you have some events coming up, July and August. July is exciting because you've already identified your locations, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. So starting July 6th from 2:30 to 7:30, we're going to be hosting a public pull at the Drake Street Park, which is along the Clark Creek in Sault Ste. Marie in the East End.
Okay.
And that's open to the public and anyone who wants to come out and pull some of these plants. The nice thing about Himalayan balsam is that it is the best kind of stewardship opportunity plant, because the root system is actually only like this deep.
Oh, okay.
So you can really easily just pull that plant out.
Yoink 'em out. All right.
And yeah, so all hands on deck is, you know, the best way to go about it. The Drake Street location actually has, you know, a really, really dense stand. It
Okay.
would almost look like a field of grass, but it's Himalayan balsam, and mind you, they're also much taller than grass. But it is very dense, so the more the merrier coming
Okay.
out to that. It's also great for youth, getting them involved. I know that kids really love popping the stems because they make a fun sound.
I love noises, yes. Yes. Okay, good.
So yeah, it's great for everyone. And then following that, one of our partners, Clean North, will be hosting a pull July 15th. And that one will be in the West End. So, you know, we're trying to make it as accessible to everyone.
Nice.
That one will be in the West End at Mike Zook Park in
Okay.
Bayview area. And then following on the 23rd, Lake Huron North will be hosting one, again, back at the Drake Street location, because that location is just so dense. And then more plants might have popped up since that first one. And then we have more to come in August.
Okay.
We have Sioux Naturalists also hosting a public pull, and then we're also going to have Science North and one of their summer camps hosting pulls with the kids. So
Put them to work.
if you have any, you know, any kids at home that you're looking to send to a science camp, and you want them to learn about invasive species, definitely check out Science North.
Okay, there you go. Okay, so I do have, you know, because questions will come to me. So this isn't the sort of plant that you can manage just by mowing it.
So you actually can, it is possible. The stem has nodes on it, and in order to actually manage it by cutting or mowing, you have to make sure you're cutting it extremely low,
Okay.
below that very first node. Now the risk is that you might have to do it more than once.
Of course.
If it grows back within that year. The nice thing about Himalayan balsam, though, is that the seeds it is an annual, so
Okay.
it's not it doesn't have roots that are gonna come back. But the seeds are only viable for 18 months.
Okay.
So as long as you're going back and you're managing a location for 2 years in a row, you have a high success rate of eradicating that area, as long as there's no new seed introduction.
So what happens to the seeds and the plants then over winter, which sometimes feels like it's 18 months long? What do they just lie dormant until the spring, or does that kill them? Can that kill them?
I don't know exactly.
Oh.
But they would lie dormant and then, like any plant, kind of
Okay.
just be released in the spring. I'm not sure if our winters kind of play any impact on how viable the seeds are in the
Okay.
spring, but I don't know.
It's interesting. I wonder. I may look that up myself.
There you go.
Well, Darissa, thank you very much. Very informative, and I'm going to be watching for these things now. Those of you who do watch the interviews know that I will be posting a very informative article summary of our discussion today, along with this interview, with all of the relevant links that will provide you with any additional information as well. You know, just to recap the events in July that have already been established. So, Darissa, thank you so much for taking the time and coming in and educating us about the Himalayan balsam.
Thank you very much. And if I may, this wouldn't be possible without some funding from the City of Sault Ste. Marie through the Community Development Fund. So,
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we didn't even talk about your organization, Invasive Species Center then. is, I believe you said, a not-for-profit, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I actually thought it was directly funded, so not directly funded at all.
So we do have a lot of funding from the provincial government. We work closely with federal partners as well through
Okay.
Natural Resources Canada, as well as CFIA, a Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
There it is.
But we are a not-for-profit, and we're looking for partners, and we continue to work with different entities to continue to combat the invasive species across Canada.
Can people make donations if they so choose?
I believe so. There is a link to
Okay.
donate on our website.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I just wanted to make sure we were hitting all of the relevant points, because that too is important. In terms of managing invasive species, we have, you know, an excellent team of very capable, highly intelligent people. So let's do what we can to support them. Either go out and yank some Himalayan balsam, or you know, see what you can do to help otherwise. Again, Darissa, thank you so much.
We have more coming up, but first, here's a look at the weather for the upcoming week.
The First Local Weekly Report is made possible with the support of these community-minded sponsors. The Medicine Shop, offering professional and confidential pharmacy services. The Medicine Shop, 59 Great Northern Road. Arch, the Algoma Residential Community Hospice, 229 4th Line West. Get your tickets for the monthly 50-50 raffle. When you help hospice, everyone wins. Canadian Tire, made for life in Canada, 200 McNabb Street, Sault Ste. Marie.
Here we go, up, down, side to side. Ready, Maggie? 3, 2, 1. Up, down, side to side. Go.
Welcome back. World Peace Youth programs are designed to create music, rapidly emphasizing positive messages and fun music. They produce music videos that inspire and engage young participants, fostering confidence and self-expression.
Joining us to talk more about this today is the one, the only, Mr. World Peace, Cayenne. Welcome.
Thank you so much,
You're
Colette.
very welcome to
Pleasure,
have
pleasure.
you. No, you need no introduction. I don't feel like it, especially in the Northern Ontario. I hope that Southern Ontario and the rest of Ontario picks this up and gets to know you a little bit better. I don't know if you make your way down there or not, but tell us what exactly you're doing to spread joy, peace, smiles, laughter, and fun.
Well, what I do on a day-to-day basis is just exude my inner peace and happiness through my music, through my videos, through my conversations and connections in the world. It all stemmed from me reading the books The Power of Now and A New Earth, which taught me to be present, be aware of my thoughts and emotions, step back, breathe, clear my mind, calm my emotions, and be at peace with myself. And from there, I started making music, promoting peace, love, and happiness, because I feel if everyone's at peace with themselves, we could have world peace. So I just keep pushing every single day, going out into the world, traveling to different cities and meeting different people. And life's just super beautiful, like yourself. You know, it's amazing, right? I'm so grateful to be alive and just to be connected with myself and with the whole universe in the present moment. You know, every single day is a World Peace Day, right?
Oh man, you're so inspiring, and your positivity, like I can feel it sitting beside you. It's great. What I want to talk about a little bit more is, I have a million questions for you, to be honest. So did you have a music background first, that you created these songs to take throughout the community? And I know you've done so much for our children in the schools around here too. So I think if we could talk a little bit more about that, and just, I don't know, share your background, how you started.
So I grew up just a regular kid in Sudbury, and I would always listen to music. I'd always keep an earbud in, listen to a lot of rap music, so that's why my music is hip-hop based.
Yeah.
And with regards to the schools, I've been making music in schools, performing in schools, and I just really want to hype the kids up, get them happy. And my songs, I make them super simple, because a positive song like I am so happy, I love myself.
Yeah.
Those are positive mantras. You want those in your head. You want to think I'm so happy. You want to think I love myself, because it's super important to love yourself, to be happy within, like I was saying from the start, being content, being at peace with yourself, so you can go out and spread peace and love in the world. So those are like the powerful messages that you can put in just a simple sentence and make that the chorus of the song, and then base your whole song around that nice positive mantra. And I strategically make my song so that people can sing along even if you've never heard it before, so we could all chant, I love myself, I'm so happy, every day is a World Peace Day, we are one big family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm very familiar. We do, like I said, my son who attended St. Basil's last year says you were there, and it was awesome, it was great. When I was watching your videos, I know there's a lot of jumping. I'm like, I thought maybe today we might be jumping around the studio singing some songs, which I was down for. But also, more importantly, you're also, not more importantly, but you're also selling merchandise as well, right? Mr. World Peace get up in lots of colors from what I see. And shoes, everybody, check these kicks out.
No, I'm just kidding.
How can anybody watching this reach out to you and to purchase merchandise and, you know, to feel the world peace, and then again go and spread that themselves?
You just reach out to me, 249-878-5510. That's my phone number. It goes to the phone.
Okay.
And you call, text, reach out, and I'll come deliver, sing you a song. I got hoodies, pants, shoes. I'll come deliver and sing for you. And that's pretty much the gist of that. I really appreciate the clothing line because I started the World Peace hoodies over 5 years ago. And it's literally what you were saying. It's just like a physical, you know, representation of world peace. It's my merchandise. It allows me to go around, travel, and meet people, and it's a beautiful thing.
I really want to express my gratitude for you being here today. I feel grateful that you are spreading this joy and love and the message of world peace. You're a very unique guest, and I just really want to let you know I appreciate you taking the time to make the stop to visit us here today at the studio. So thank you very much for joining us today. And to everybody else out in Facebook Live, peace, Mr. World Peace. Thank you. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The First Local Weekly Report is made possible with the support of these community-minded sponsors. Canadian Tire, made for life in Canada, 200 McNabb Street, Sault Ste. Marie. The Medicine Shop, offering professional and confidential pharmacy services. The Medicine Shop, 59 Great Northern Road. Arch, the Algoma Residential Community Hospice, 229 4th Line West. Get your tickets for the monthly 50/50 raffle. When you help hospice, everyone wins.
And that's it for this week. Don't forget, you can check out the latest breaking news on firstlocalnews.com at any time. I'm Colette Linden, and for all of us at First Local, we will see you next weekend.